humongous shout out to our latest patron, James Case, with the big boy support. Thank you very much, I really appreciate it. And I'd like all of you before you sleep tonight to go, James Case, I love your face. Thank you very much. Ladies and gents, welcome to the video. I'm GetGoodGuy, this is Battlefield 5, and with the new TTK in place, obviously we're going to go over what weapons are good and bad, so that everyone can get up to speed. And this will be no surprise to some of you, today I'm talking about the AGM/42. It's my absolute favourite semi-auto in the entire game, has been for a really stupidly long time, basically since it was released. But do let me know in the comments which semi-auto you like, let's share and see what the popular choices are. But yeah, I've talked about this weapon previously, 2, 3, I don't know, 4 times at different points in the game with different metas and different balancing, and right now this thing is incredible again. Now I said recently that semi-autos would be epic, I said that before the patch hit, and I do believe I was correct. I doubt many people are going to be arguing that they are dominating the mid-range and they've become the versatile option again. And on top of that, I said the AGM/42 could also be fantastic, and it really is, but only for the right player or a player who is willing to learn. It won't work for everyone and all playstyles, but everybody needs to try this to see if it works for them. Please, you must give this a go. If it does work for you, it could be a massive boost, and this video will detail exactly why. Now, very recently I did a video about the statistical best gun for each class, but I said I'd do my favorites as well, and in some ways this is more relevant because my personal experience comes into this one rather than just the stats. So the AGM/42 is phenomenal if you're accurate, can react and position quickly and appropriately, pick your situations well, and fire a semi-automatic weapon quickly. So basically, if you've got a fast trigger finger and you can maintain accuracy whilst you're using your fast trigger finger. So if you have those capabilities, what puts the AGM/42 up near the top of the meta right now for that kind of player? Well, it has that fantastic position currently because of how dominant the semi-autos of the assault class are in this balancing. It doesn't have much to compete with. Other weapons that are supposed to excel in mid-range aren't as good as they maybe should be. I talked about this in my 16-minute analysis video. I've seen some other people post things about it now on Reddit and such like, but a lot of slower firing automatic weapons don't perform as they should in their optimal range, which is mid-range, which of course is where semi-autos are destroying everyone at the minute. But because of how good they are, and depending on which one you pick, you can also contest at long range and short range, and sometimes if you get the right semi-auto at all ranges. Now that doesn't mean you're going to be dominant at all ranges, you're generally going to be dominant in the mid-range and then just good at short range and long range, but the AGM/42 absolutely falls into that category, but not only that, to an incredible degree, because you can spam people down at close range and absolutely drop bodies at long range if you're using it correctly. And one of the key things making it that strong is that the aforementioned slower firing or mid-range specialized automatic weapons now require an extra bullet to kill at those ranges. The semi-autos and the AGM/42 specifically do not, allowing it to really take advantage. Now this thing went down to a 360 rounds per minute semi-auto in the slower time to kill model that we had that most people didn't want, and now that's gone, this thing is back up to 450 rounds per minute, making it absolutely lethal. And this is a massive point, it can 2-shot headshot. Now the only other 450 RPM semi-auto in the game is the M1A1 carbine, and I much prefer the AGM/42. I used to use the M1A1 carbine way back in the day sometimes, and this thing absolutely supersedes it for me. I find it easier to use, it does more damage, allowing it to be a 4-shot body shot to center mass anywhere up to 100 meters. The only nerf it's got when it comes to damage since the 5.2 update is that it now requires 5 shots to kill past 100 meters, but honestly that's not happening all that much compared to obviously killing people within 100 meters. And with a lot of other things being weaker, it just doesn't make a difference for balancing. I feel like this thing is even stronger now by comparison than it used to be when up against other weapons. But back to the comparison point of the M1A1. Well, whereas the AGM/42 is a consistent 4 bullets to kill up to 100 meters, the M1A1 drops to 5 bullets to kill at 50 meters, which honestly can make a big difference. And keep in mind, knowing that you can consistently 4-shot people with the AG up to 100 meters means you don't really have to think about how many bullets you need. You're not weighing up how far away they are anything like that, whereas you are with the M1A1 and quite a lot of other semi-autos. Then the M1A1 requires 6 bullets to kill past 100 meters, whereas, as I mentioned, the AG only requires 5. But the M1A1 can have either 16 or 31 rounds per reload, whereas the AG only has 10 or 11. So if mag capacity is a big deal for you, because you like to use a lot of rounds, you find it beneficial, or you're not very good at timing your reloads, then the M1A1 may be your best choice for you. It's less of a skill cannon, it's a little more forgiving in that regard, but it loses some potency, so you've got to weigh those things up. And of course, that is a limiting factor for the AGM/42, but still, for me, if you can manage that, it's amazing. My tip would be move cover to cover and reload at opportune moments. Get very used to doing that. Know where your next piece of cover is. Get used to getting out of the way, sliding, etc. Getting those reloads off and then quickly getting back into the fight. And where cover is concerned, using a semi-auto does allow you to peek shoot, whereas using automatics doesn't. By that I mean you can take cover and control the gunfight by peeking out, taking a shot, peeking back in. It's much easier to do that with a semi-auto, knowing you only need to get 1 round or 2 rounds off and take cover. With an automatic, you need more sustained fire to land the relevant amount of damage. But just to round off that comparison with the M1A1 and where the downsides of the AGM/42 are concerned, because I'm not going to pretend it's perfect at everything, I think the M1A1 does have better spread stats, but again, I still don't feel like I missed many shots with the AGM/42, so for me, it's a non-factor. But you'll have to make up your own decision, of course. And so with those downsides covered and how I mitigate them, or why I think some of them just aren't a large factor, let's get back to why I think this thing absolutely slaps butt cheeks up and down. If you can I'm just going to leave that in. If you can spam fast and land that damage, you have an incredibly similar optimal timescale as the Caraben and the Gewehr 43 up to 100 meters, and then it's far better than them after that. And then think about that 2-shot headshot I said earlier. When you pull that off, this is one of the most lethal guns in the entire game. 450 rounds per minute is the equal fastest available for both the semi-autos of the assault class and the self-loading rifles of the recon class, making for the AGM/42 having the fastest semi-automatic 2-shot headshot kill in the game. Don't write that off, that is massive if you can land your damage reliably. So the spammable nature of the gun, the consistent 4-shot body shot kill, and the 2-shot headshot allows you to both be aggressive or counter-snipe and everything in between, as long as you approach your engagements appropriately and don't overstretch yourself against SMGs at close quarters or whatever it may be. And be aware, if you are going to push people with that small magazine, you will sometimes need to switch to your sidearm, so go for one you're comfortable with in a pinch, and therefore don't expect to cut through 4 enemies in one go. That's not your role with the AG. This is not for purely running around looking for 10-meter engagement kills. It's for blasting people down extremely fast and with strong versatility, allowing you to move around the map with freedom and knowing exactly what you need to do to get that kill. Now, a lot of people like to know the specializations that I use when I make these videos, and I only highlight them when they're appropriate because it really is up to you what you like. But today, I use the full left side: quick aim, detachable mags, recoil buffer, and lightened stock. I use them because I like to be versatile, as I've said, and somewhat aggressive at times, as I've said. And those selections play into that. Quick aim for faster ADS times, to react more quickly, to be able to pick off a sniper at range if they see me and I need to get to them quick before they pop my head open, or in close quarters if I need to ADS quickly before someone with an automatic weapon blasts me down. Then there's detachable mags, so that reload is less of an issue, and I much prefer this choice over quick reload on the right side of the tree. Recoil buffer is then just a nice bonus of using that left side, and lightened stock is there so I can strafe quickly, because again, I like to move around. Being able to strafe side to side can give me that advantage in close quarters or mid-range up against some things that maybe would kill me. It allows me to stay in ADS and strafe around to look around, and I can strafe to take out snipers while they miss their shots with their lower fire rate, and I can spam them down. These selections all work really well for me. It's just a perfect combination, and even without barrel bedding, custom stock, and high velocity rounds, I land my damage consistently and can kill people from range, again including snipers. But you should try different things out and see what works for you. That's just what I recommend, and overall, that is why I think the AGM/42 is phenomenal right now, and everybody needs to give it a go just to see if it works for them. And if not, you can write it off and use something else. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leaving a like is huge for me. It helps me to grow. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing and maybe turning on those notifications to stay up to date with the huge amount of content I've got coming out. Don't forget to leave me a comment to let me know what you think of this gun, or which semi-auto you like, or whatever gun you're using at the minute that you're enjoying. And all the links to my social media, including Patreon, can be found in the description and my pinned comment. Here is the board of of Awesome for the epic people who already support me on Patreon. They're all absolute heroes and I love them all deeply and of course, often. If you want to join them on the Board of Awesome, the link to the Patreon page is in the description and my pinned comment. And with that all said, I'm GetGoodGuy and I'll see you next time, laters. Which does actually take away your power to affect all of your gunfights consistently. Sometimes the recoil is random and there's not too much you can do about it if it just does something unexpected or it's inconsistent or whatever else.